Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Bunga Setyamika. I'm studying at Faculty of Law in East Java Veteran National Development University. Today, I will be reviewing one of the best films from Indonesia and one of my favorite film. The title is Kartini. Raden Ajeng Kartini in Indonesia is a national hero who fight for the right of women throughout Indonesia, so that they can be equal to men, so that the woman in ancient time could be more appreciated, so that the younger generation can be understand the struggle of Raden Ajeng Kartini in fighting for women emancipation. The struggle is Raden Ajeng Kartini illustrated in a 2 hours film directed by Hanum Bramantyo. This film played by several senior and talented artists, namely Dian Sastrowardoyo as Raden Ajeng Kartini, Dedi Sutomo as Raden Mas Adipati Aryo Sasroningrat, Acha Septiasa as Rukmini, Ayu Sista as Kardinah, Christine Hakim as Ngasirah, Dejar Maisa Ayu as Raden Ajeng Muriam, and Reza Rahadian as Sosro Kartono. The script for this film is written very nicely by Bagus Bramanti and Hanum Bramantyo. The synopsis is about Kartini, who is still young growing up, by the saying firsthand how her biology mother, Ngasirah, became an outcast in her own house, considered a maid just because she was not of noble descent. At the beginning film, Kartini is depicted of the opposing her own house big brother because she wants to sleep with her mother in the maid room. Her father, Raden Sosroningrat, who loved Kartini and his family, was also powerless against tradition. In ancient time, a regent had to have a wife from aristocratic descent, so this Raden Sosroningrat remained a Raden Ajeng Muriam of aristocratic descent of Madura. Throughout her life, Kartini fought of equal right for everyone, whether they were royalty or not, especially the right to education for women. Together with her sisters, Rukmini and Kardinah, Kartini founded schools to poor and created jobs for the people in Jepara and its surrounding. The film also describes how the Kartini struggle for the welfare of wood carving and craftsmen in Jepara. The film Kartini is the emotional struggle of a Kartini who has to go against tradition, and even against their own family to fight for equal rights for all people in Indonesia. The storyline of Raden Ajeng Kartini is not boring. For 2 hours I watched this film presenting many of the conflicts that Raden Ajeng Kartini experienced from childhood to adult scenes. When her 12 years old, she was locked in a room and not allowed to leave her home environment. This was Javanese culture at the time. At the age of teenager girls are not allowed to go to school. But in this film, it tells of Kartini, who is still enthusiastic to continue studying and reading books in her older brother's room, namely Kartono. It was because of this book from the big brother that Kartini was able to learn to write articles and publish them to the Dutch media. The conflict in this film is not only experienced by Kartini, but also by her father, Raden Sosroningrat, who gets a lot of scolding from her sibling for not educating her younger Kartini according to the existing tradition. There are several scenes that I like in this film. When Kartini received a book as a gift from Kartono older brother who wants to go to the Netherlands, Kartini began to free herself through this book, and what is unique is when the scene reading a book, unlike the usual we just reading a book on the table, but Raden Ajeng Kartini took of fantasy or use a visualization. For example, when Raden Ajeng Kartini is chatting with her friend who come from Netherlands, her friend visualization is really beside her. And during the trial scene, Kartini experienced the visualization of the trial by the judge. This is very good in illustrating that books can become a bigger and wider world of our imagination. Another scene that I really like is the struggle of Raden Ajeng Kartini father in supporting Raden Ajeng Kartini dream until he has many conflict with his own brother to defend Raden Ajeng Kartini. In addition, there is a scene when Ngasirah telling her past story to Kartini, and she expressed how much she loved Kartini. During that scene, my heart was touched to see a mother struggle so that her child can be happy. The advantage of this film is my opinion the player managed to portray the character perfectly. The Dutch language as in several scenes could be completed by Dian Sastrowardoyo and Dedi Sutomo. Overall, this is film use the Javanese language. The real players are not Javanese but they can pronounce sentences in fluent Javanese. The shooting by the cameraman in some other scene is very good, very clear and really depicts of the atmosphere in ancient times. The costume that are used throughout the scene in the Kartini film is really depicts at the life of the Javanese people. Apart from the strength in the film, there are several drawbacks. Namely, that my opinion, this film does not focus in the Kartini struggle in fighting for women emancipation. However, this film focuses more on conflict within the family. With Raden Mas Sosroningrat, who gets in a lot of trouble for supporting Kartini's struggle, and Raden Ajeng Muriam, who does not like if Kartini's success in achieving her dream. In addition, at the end of the film, the main of purpose this film seemed unclear. The story stopped after Raden Ajeng Kartini agreed to marry Raden Adipati Joyoningrat and lost the opportunity to continue her scholarship to the Netherlands. It is not explained how Raden Ajeng Kartini in building school and fighting for emancipation women. The message we get when watching Kartini film is that bodies may be prisoned but our mind and soul must fly freely. Even though she was confined to her room and could not go to school, she was still able to give brilliant ideas, able to convey a voice not only to the Jepara people but also the Netherlands. Kartini is also symbol of a woman who is smart, never give up, and very brave. Okay guys, thank you for watching my video. Hopefully my video can be useful and don't forget to watching film Kartini because this film very inspiring and suitable for young people. Always support Indonesian films so that they can be continue to develop and to produce quality work. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you guys.